People not sustaining themselves in village life is a question of mindset, not the reality. The biggest fear of an urbanite is, you know what? Losing job. Actually, life can be very nice and simple. We insist on making it complicated.
Hi, welcome to KC Talks, the large podcast that I've done with Dr. Sahadev Swami on Bangalore water crisis. He gave us a solution of re-ruralization and de-urbanization. I'm not very convinced with this solution because we are seeing a plethora of change that people are migrating from villages to cities. And why are they migrating for? The life in the villages is no more easy job. They are searching of their livelihood coming back to cities. So I don't understand this solution to be a very practical. Let us get deep dive into this. Hare Krishna Swami.
Hare Krishna.
So sorry to say that, but though we concluded with a solution, not very convincing.
The solution of de-urbanization, because piling up people one on top of another is artificial, is not natural arrangement.
That's understood.
So it's like this whole techno-industrial revolution is like a big drama. And real life is different. Theatrics or drama is different. Drama is only for a certain period of time. Then you have to get back to your real life, right? So last 150 years, industrial revolution has been going on. And this has been, this is not the way to consume at this rate the resources. All other life forms are there. So all other life forms, consume according in a sustainable manner. So why human beings, what Earth has accumulated for millions of years, are being exhausted in these few decades. So when I talk of re-ruralization and de-urbanization, so naturally question comes, अरे गांव में जाएंगे खाएंगे क्या भाई? कुछ जॉब कहाँ है वहाँ पे? What is that livelihood? How do you maintain yourself?
Yeah, that's the whole reason why youth have given up farming. Right. Every day, I don't know the stats, but every day a certain amount of people leave.
2000, I was talking 10 years back, according to a survey, international survey, 2000 Indian farmers were giving up farming every day on an average.
So that's the
because
reality.
The farming has been made unsustainable.
Yeah.
Then there is a design to it.
Okay.
Because so that they can abdicate their lands to the hand over to the corporations. So corporations, they plant 15-20 years of operation, then the land becomes barren, they leave. So my point is, this is the answer. The people not sustaining themselves in village life is a question of mindset, not the reality. It is a mindset.
Okay.
If you have a mindset, you can make millions there.
Okay. Then why do you think all the people are migrating back to cities then?
Again, mindset, I would say. Do you know that there is a reverse migration also? There are management graduates, there are ITNs who are going to villages. You see, if you type the word in Google, villages around the world, eco villages around the world, you will get eco villages directories in your search results.
Yeah.
With thousands of eco villages are listed there. And what are those villages? Some, of course, open and close. That's okay. Interested individuals doing the reverse migration.
Okay.
That is what it is composed of. So let me tell you one example. Why for now our city has got a water crisis. So why, for example, let's assume you are a resident of Bengaluru. Why do you live there?
For a job.
And why do you need a job?
For my survival.
No. Okay, but survival in the sense?
My food, my shelter, my clothing, all the basic amenities of life.
Right. You need a job, right? Yeah. So with job, why you do job? Because you get money, right? Yes. Every month a package comes.
Yes.
That's what you do a job for. And money, how do you spend? Food, shelter, clothing, education, medicine, right? So you are buying food from supermarkets.
Yes.
What if you are able to have an arrangement where you can grow your food? That much money growing food is like printing your own money,
Definitely, yes.
That part you won't need, right? Now in Bangalore, you need a shelter and you need to pay for 15-20 years EMI on your apartment of 2 crores.
Yes.
But if in a rural setting, you can build a small comfortable house without having to pay EMI. Your shelter problem is solved. I am not talking something utopian, something unheard of. Even today, 60% of the population of the earth is doing the same thing. And many educated people are doing now this, what I am speaking now.
But that needs hard work.
Let's come to first probability, then we'll come to the work part, okay?
Yeah.
So food problem is if you have got a parcel of land, you can get actually organic, fresh food every day. What to speak of rural setting? There are urban farming. You heard the term urban farming?
Yes.
There are families with rooftop gardens. They are able to supply their majority of vegetables and fruits. Kitchen gardens they are growing in their rooftops and balconies now.
Yes.
Successfully, they are growing like 60 varieties of veggies and crop right in their properties in congested urban areas.
Yeah.
So it is possible. We are looking at possibilities now. So food is your land parcel can actually provide you, and some things you don't need can be bought. There are examples of educated people leading a self-sufficient life around the world, including in India. Shelter you can build a comfortable home, eco-friendly home from the local material without having to pay EMI for the next 20 years. Is that possible?
Yeah.
So food, shelter, clothing, if you go to many spiritual organizations, for example, even let's say Isha Yoga, you see everybody wearing, cotton
loose clothing,
very comfortable they are, and it's very fashionable also.
Yeah.
You see many celebrities going there and wearing that.
Yeah.
So if you are in a rural setting, you don't have to go show off so many, you can keep some sets of cloths for, but it's possible. Purpose of clothing is covering, dressing, covering your body.
But there are two things, Swamiji.
Yeah.
You need to be very open to hear this out.
Yeah.
The highness a city life gives.
The highness.
High.
The high it gives.
The high it gives.
Yeah.
You don't get that in the rural setup, point number one. And point number two is, though it is not a utopian idea what you're telling, but there needs a tremendous hard work for plowing or sowing or at least, maintaining. Even we have 2 laborers, maintaining a farm and, so it looks like a little old, outdated, fancy idea, but
okay, shall I answer that? Again, what I said, it's mindset.
Hmm.
Actually, agrarian life is the easiest life. When you talk of hard work, commuting for spending 3 hours every day in commute, average is 2 hours nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially in a city like that, or
Yeah.
any major metro for
Yeah,
that
1 hour for to and fro, 2 hours is enough. Yeah, it's
average, you can say.
100% in any city.
Is that not work?
That's
Then
what.
sitting on a desk with all the deadlines, with all the pressures, and with all the threat of getting layoffs, like companies are cutting jobs, and with all the EMIs looming on your head, eating from surviving from paycheck to paycheck, is it not hard work?
But not everybody survives from paycheck to the paycheck. Some people have enough bank balance.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people do. But even so, my point is, it's all hard work. It is, and in a rural
Swamiji,
setting, actually,
Swami, you should empathize a modern person to some extent. See, I'm not intentionally negating your ideas. I am not getting convinced because I have a fear of losing a sophisticated life. Where do I go for my partying? Where do I have my social gatherings? Where do I have my, there's a lot of high. That's the reason I said a city gives you a high. If you are a local person who has lived in a city for 20-25 years, made some social connects, there is a play. We are all social animals, human.
As I said, it is a mindset. For somebody, you see, for somebody who is addicted, it's addiction. Somebody who is addicted to urban lifestyle, for them that is insanity. And once you taste that serenity, there is village life. Village has so much to do, and so much innovation can happen. For them, that becomes insanity. It is a question of, so just like, for example, somebody who's a teetotaler, for example, a drunk, lying on the street is insanity.
Yeah.
For a drunk person, when you see a person who never drinks, he thinks he is missing everything in life. So it is a question of who is right.
So I might have to go to a de-addiction center, which can de-addict my urbanized.
So
mind.
my point is that you are happy, but problem is it is not sustainable. What do you do when water is over? Then you are looking at the concept of ghost cities. Then what do? You don't have water. Okay, drinking one thing, but you need to flush 4 times a day.
Maybe we can do one thing, though it looks very selfish. We need to have limits for a city. Rather than completely forcing people like us who are born and raised in the metropolitans, government should give us a limit. The city can only accommodate 45 lakhs. After that, no more immigration is allowed into the city.
The young generation is giving up farming because this is considered old fashioned, not because it is unsustainable.
No, we have no doubts on farming and unsustainability, Swamiji. It is more
And
to
for
do with
farmers, for making, if you want to get your son married, and if the other party knows he is just doing father's business of farming, he'll have a hard time finding a
match for him.
Yeah. So this whole mindset, you got to get educated and take up a job.
Yeah.
So point is, a job is required, you do job for money, and money is required to maintain yourself. Same thing can be done based on land.
Agreed, Swamiji, but my question is, rather than making a completely alcohol addict to a teetotaler, maybe, once in 2 days, a little alcohol, once in 4 days, a little alcohol. There should be something in between, right?
So yes, so in between, shall I tell you a solution?
Yes.
If you are working in city, you want to give, naturally you are concerned about your family, right? The best gift a person can give his family is to connect them with nature. Go for some kind of a plot, 100, 50, 100 miles away. At least go all of your entire family, spend the weekend there.
Weekend farms. This is a concept.
Weekend farms, Just have a small parcel of land. Just get used to, let the children run around in mud, play around in mud, Plant some trees, fruit trees. Let them touch where the fruits come from.
Yeah.
If possible, have a villager and keep a cow, or whatever. Just make somewhere a start. And if you end up with, I know people as the lockdown started, they actually relocated themselves to their farms, and they escaped the grind, the problems. They relocated themselves and clustered themselves in their farms. So get a footing, get grounded, and think of sustainability. Think how. So this civilization, our direction, we have come a long way now, no doubt, but we have come on the wrong route. You heard of environmental crisis?
Yeah.
Ecological problem. So your urban centers are centers of consumption, and you just can't go on supplying those big cities now. They need, and little disruption in supply chain. Now like water is a crisis and power. In a rural setting, you can, if there is no power, you can still survive. A day or two. You can, outdoors are there, and there are many ways. So it is high time that we start thinking where problem is our thinking. We don't have time or interest in thinking, or introspection or extrospection, whatever you call it. We have our political fraternity. They are caught up in their day-to-day things. Everything is like, for us, you open the media, it's like keeping up with some political news, some political fight, some stardom.
Yeah, we understood it very clearly in this civilization. There is no problem solver. We should ourselves stand to solve our problems. That's understood.
We should plan, man. We are not keeping up with Kardashians, That's what we are busy with.
Yeah.
The future, everything. So it is possible. It is again turning a ship around. It's not easy.
Yeah.
That is why, while we are there, while all infrastructure is there, you see, we should think of how we can also diversify. It's like keeping all your eggs in one basket. Is it good?
No.
You should have different. Okay, you happen to crush some eggs, other eggs will remain. You see, during Corona, those migrant labours didn't have much problem, because they just went back to villages.
Yeah.
And villages, some food you get, some shelter, they may have a hut or whatever, some water, but those who have nowhere to go. Imagine now, you see, the biggest fear a job holder, there was a survey, right? The biggest fear of an urbanite is, what?
Losing of his job.
Losing job. What do? You got to pay rents. You got to, pay, children's school fees. You got to pay for groceries. What do you do if you lose? During Corona, I received calls from decent families who haven't cooked. You see, one morning, I tell you, previous day, many calls came, because we were doing the relief work. So a call came, a particularly distressed call, So they thought, okay, we'll do something. But morning, as we were, we do our chanting and praying, they were like, from one call, there were 60 calls, Then the lady, I immediately reverted back. Lady said, since yesterday we haven't cooked, sir, and we have got 2 small children. And immediately, of course, there was no, I don't remember lockdown or how did we manage, but we some 5-10 kilos of rice or whatever, we just got our driver to. I don't remember how logistics were worked out, but it came to that, and they sounded like speaking no English and whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying it is a general thing, but I'm just saying I have experienced that.
Great.
That so in a urban setting, then where do you go? So there is a need to think. There is a need to plan. Imagine you don't get rains. They skip for you don't get rains for consecutive 2, 3, or 5 years. Can you imagine a scenario like that?
It's gonna be a crazy situation that we can't think of.
Because it's just unimaginable scenario, where even schools are now, work from home, many companies declaring, even schools are planning now,
Yeah.
and that is nothing. So everything, I'm sure by Lord's grace, everything will be fine. But imagine,
Yeah, this is a moral of the moral of the story for entire of this problem is that we should limit our urban growth now. We have understood that because a city which was built to accommodate 40-50 lakh population is today accommodating more than 1.5 crore population.
yeah, I remember 20 years ago,
Mm.
I was going to railway station,
Mm.
and it just was like I'm like 2 kilometers away,
Mm.
and I almost missed my connection, because I never saw a crazy traffic like that. I'm talking maybe 18 years ago,
Mm.
and it was insanity.
Mm.
For 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers, you got to spend like 1.5 that I don't know. So point is, we need human life has a purpose. He's got a higher purpose, human life, and we are got up. Actually, life can be very nice and simple. We insist on making it complicated.
Yes, definitely.
So
So you brainwashed me now. So
just we should start exploring. It's called, our founder called it, Srila Prabhupada called it simple living, high thinking.
Mm.
And here, what you describe, the life of partying and high paying jobs, and it's like high living and no thinking.
Yeah, we need to all get into a de-addiction center, urban high de-addiction center.
So when Srila Prabhupada went in 1965 to New York, he landed in New York. You'd be surprised. The first thing he did was, as soon as he established himself in New York's small center, he wanted a farming project. And in Wheeling, Virginia, they found a large tract of land, and he named it New Vrindavan. Where so that was one of his top priorities from day one.
Yeah.
Where he wanted to display a life based on land and cows.
Beautiful.
How happily, healthy, clean life you can lead, natural life, connected with land and cows. He wanted to display that.
Inspirational.
And today we have several projects like that. For a very famous project near Budapest, Hungary, Krishna Valley project. People pay money to
enter the
farm community and to see everything. It's like 2-3 tourist buses. Like when I went, I saw they are lined up. There were like 200 tourists right there. So we have villages in India where devotees are staying without power.
Yes.
With just rural community with no power. So it's some food for thought, basically.
Definitely. So I would like all the viewers to visit iskcon farms and see how they can match their city high life with the rural simple life. But definitely, Swamiji, so we all are addicted. It has gone into our psyche that without a city we can't survive. some detoxification is required, and you have definitely influenced me. Thank you so much for this. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.